Hey, Larken Rose here, making part 2 of my response to the Orange Fuhrer speaking to the not at all Libertarian Party at their not at all Libertarian convention that happened earlier today. By the time you see this video, it may be yesterday or the day before, whatever. So I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to try to do less talking and let him get on with it because I don't want to drag you or me through any more torture than necessary, and I'm sure it's going to be more of the same. As a quick reminder, remember my hypothetical, since libertarians are like, this is helping us spread our message and making us more relevant. What fucking message? So, to answer the question of what fucking message, I was suggesting that you imagine 3 people. One is a Trump supporter watching this, who doesn't really know what libertarians are, but they support Trump. One is somebody who's heard about libertarianism, doesn't really know it, but is kind of curious and wants to know more. And one is just random spectator who happened to switch on this video and is too lazy to switch to something else, so they're watching it. I want you to tell me if any of this is doing any good for the cause of libertarianism or freedom in the minds of any of those people. So here we go. Let's pick up where we left off.
We believe that Marxism is an evil doctrine straight from the ashes of hell.
This guy was first to push the socialist handouts after the government demolished the economy, after the fear-mongering bullshit. The stimulus checks, those aren't big enough. Throw out more money and put my name on the checks. Do you not fucking remember that? So when he says, we will never have socialism, or Marxism is horrible, are you that dumb? Are you that dumb to think he means it? Now you have a group of people, maybe a bunch of the people in the audience know he's full of shit when he says that. Maybe a bunch of people are cheering him because they think he means it, like he's actually against Marxism. But once again, you get the image of an audience that doesn't know what it thinks and is half of them are cheering and half of them are booing, and all the spectators of this are like, what do these people even think? They don't seem to know amongst themselves what the hell they think, which they don't.
Having Marxism in our government is intolerable, and teaching it to our children is considered to us child abuse. We believe that the job of the United States military is not to wage endless regime change wars around the globe, senseless wars.
I'll do it. I'll escalate it. I'll do it even more than all the people who came before me. But then I'll say that I don't like it, and a bunch of you will cheer for it. Because you're idiots. How many times am I going to listen to this and think of things from Jones Plantation? I know that some of you may not like me, or how things were before. But he was always on the side of the workers. It's that dumb. It's that dumb. You have a professional parasite telling people that he's for them and against those professional parasites that, 1, he already was one of, and 2, he's running for office to be that again.
Job of the United States military is to defend America from attack and invasion here at home.
Which it has never done since, like, 1812, basically. War of 1812. You can sort of argue about Pearl Harbor, even though that was actually, like, a military target. You can also bring up the fact that it may not have been quite the surprise that they pretended it was. Military never does that. And this jackass increased the droning. He increased the bombing. The idea that he wants the military used just to defend America is utter bullshit. And once again, there's probably a bunch of people in the audience who know that and are going, you're full of shit. And a bunch of people who are like, I like the bullshit he's spewing, I'm going to applaud him. And once again, the spectators going, this audience is booing and cheering at the same time. Who the hell are these people? And what the hell do they believe? Let's see if there's ever any indication, any spreading of the message of libertarianism.
We believe that property rights are fundamental to a free society and that Joe Biden's rampant inflation is a...
God. Okay. 1, he thinks this crowd is idiots, and 2, he might be right. Once again, he pushed the handouts first. He was out there saying, they're only trying to give, what was it, like $1,500. I want to give $3,000 to everybody whose lives we fucked up by doing all the fear-mongering crap around COVID. Everybody hide in your houses and have us completely fuck up the economy and then hand out free money. He was doing that first and pushing to do more of it. He was at least smart enough to know, well, I can buy their loyalty now and the inflation's going to hit when I'm out of office, so I can blame it on Biden. And here he is doing just that, like a slimy, lying sack of shit. He made the inflation happen just as much as Biden did. You can look up the chart if you want to see the spending and the currency supply and all that shit. Look it up! He did it first, and he's blaming Biden for what he totally did. Biden did it too, but...
Monstrous theft from the American people. It's a theft. We believe that the greatest threat to our country is not from enemies abroad. It's the tyrants, communists, fascists, and thugs attacking our rights and liberties from within.
Yeah, that was true. That's him. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer speaking to a bunch of pacifists. You know, the greatest threat you face is psychopaths who will kill you and eat you. You mean like you? No, other ones. I'm here to save you.
And above all else, we live by the words of the great American patriot, Patrick Henry, give me liberty or give me death. Our rights and freedoms have never been more in danger than they are right now. That is why I have come to extend a hand of friendship to ask for your partnership to defeat communism, defeat Marxism, and defeat crooked Joe Biden, who is destroying our country. He's destroying our country.
That Mr. Johnson, he's a fur man. He knows fur. I know cotton, and I know this. Okay, so let's review. We have the guy who believes in Trump going, yeah, he's saying great things, because if you believe in Trump, you have to be pretty delusional and clueless to begin with. If you're still a supporter of Trump, you don't know what the hell is going on, and you have no principles. Sorry, that's just the reality of it. And then you're watching this, and you go, yay, for Trump, he's saying awesome things, and half this crowd seems to be, like, mad at him, and we don't really know why. You're not winning any of them over. Then you have the people curious about libertarianism going, I don't know what these people think. They're yelling at each other and at him. And the guy up on the stage is saying things that I thought were libertarian, but some people are booing, and I'm not sure why. And the random observer probably tuned out 10 minutes ago.
We can be libertarian or anything else. This man is destroying our country.
I can't tell what they're chanting. We want... No, it wasn't. I can't tell what the hell they're saying.
Thank you.
Oh, and the Fed. Surprised it took me that long to notice. You're yelling, you end the Fed at this guy. You know, if you want to know factual stuff, like I talk about conceptual stuff and philosophical principles and stuff. If you want to know factual stuff, watch James Corbett. He's a really damn good investigative reporter who actually finds stuff, and he actually shows the sources, and he actually shows the evidence. Look up the video he did. It was a while ago. It can still be found. I find it every once in a while and stick a link somewhere. I think it's called Draining the Swamp or Filling the Swamp or something. It was about Trump and how he appointed all of the same bankers to all of the positions that matter, exactly like Obama did, exactly like all of them ever do. You're yelling at that guy to end the Fed. You might as well, again, to use the analogy, yell at Jeffrey Dahmer, end cannibalism. End cannibalism. He's not going to. He's the one who benefits from it, you dumbass. So I completely agree with the idea of ending the Fed. Yelling at this guy? And by the way, the Trump supporters and the neutral people watching probably don't even know what they're saying. And if they hear the words "end the Fed," they have no stinking idea what you're talking about.
And by the way, why isn't Joe Biden here speaking to you tonight? You know why? Why isn't he?
Why
Because
isn't
he can't
Mr.
put
Johnson
sentences
here?
Together. That's why he's not here. The fact is, we should not be fighting each other. If Joe Biden gets back in, there will be no more liberty for anyone in our country. Combined with us in a partnership, we're asking that of the Libertarians. We must work together.
You must work together with war criminals and wannabe dictators and complete authoritarians. Work together to fight against, well, something that we're saying is even worse. By the way, how does that not match the bullshit that the Libertarian Party is actually spreading? Not libertarianism, because they're not spreading that at all. Inviting this jackass here totally reinforces the notion of, well, he's sort of our ally. Let's work together. Let's work together with war criminals and...
with us. You have to combine with us. We cannot give crooked Joe Biden 4 more years. We cannot give crooked Joe Biden 4 more years. Today's radical left Democrat Party is not a Democrat Party of years ago, which still wanted big government, but at least believed in tolerance and free speech. Joe Biden's radical left Democrat Party is a fascist movement that wants to throw you in jail. If you post a meme they don't like, they want to throw you in jail if you do something that isn't quite to their liking. What you're witnessing under Biden is a toxic fusion of the Marxist left.
All right, I think I have to point out about this piece of shit. I mean, I'm sure you know plenty of stuff. I'm trying not to pause it every 5 seconds to talk about everything that indicates that he's fucking evil. He was in the office for 4 years. Now, a lot of people overestimate what a president actually has the power to do. He should repeal this and repeal that. Yeah, presidents can't do a lot of that. You know what they can do? Pardon people. He had the power by himself, without anybody else's cooperation, to free every single federal prisoner who was there for a victimless crime. All of them. Free Ross, free a whole bunch of, stop the harassment of people like Snowden. He could have done that by himself. By the way, you can do a pardon of somebody before they're even convicted, which is sort of funny and demented. The whole notion of that power is insane. But that's one of the few powers the president, unilateral powers the president actually had. He didn't use it. If he was anything like libertarian, he could have said, okay, anybody in federal prison for just drug charges, let him out. Anybody in there for any victimless crime, let him out. And so when he's spewing this bullshit now, like, are you that easy to do? So, well, anyway, I'm going to let him keep going. I want to get this over with. This is just painfully stupid.
The deep state, the military-industrial complex, the government security and surveillance services.
He appointed all the same warmongers and all the same bankers to all the positions that mattered when he was in there. He will do the exact same thing if he gets in there again, which seems pretty likely. And he'll do the same thing again. And he doesn't give a shit about your concerns.
And their partners all merging together into a hideous perversion of the American system, and that's exactly what it is. The fact is that Joe Biden is a threat to democracy.
He thought that line was going to fly with this crowd. I'm not going to give my whole speech about how democracy is bullshit. And I will briefly say, this asshole doesn't care about democracy. Biden doesn't care about democracy. Nobody cares about democracy. He wants power and would do anything to get it. Did you hear him on the phone with the Georgia, whoever the hell it was? How can we come up with enough votes to do? Now, whatever fraud you think happened, I don't give a shit. He wasn't saying, well, I just want to make sure that the people get their way. He doesn't give a fuck about that any more than Biden does.
My mission is to liberate our nation from these fascist frauds. and to rescue our democracy, to restore our republic, and to evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House so that America can be a free nation once again. He's the worst in history.
What's Trump's campaign? Biden's really bad. What's Biden's campaign? Trump's really bad. Why the fuck is the Libertarian Party playing that and allowing that to happen on their stage and give it credibility and welcome it there? Because then we might get more people to vote for Noah.
The Biden regime censors its critics, spies on its opposition, takes away the bank accounts of U.S. citizens as an extra form of punishment, persecutes Christians and patriotic parents,
Mr.
and is
Johnson
currently trying to put the leading candidate for president in jail. That happens to be me. While imposing a strict gag order in order to keep me from talking about their crimes and their unconstitutional acts. They want to get rid of the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, due process, the right to a fair trial, and the right to counsel, all the while pushing wealth confiscation and waging endless...
I said it before. He wants to destroy the First Amendment, just like you did, and the Second Amendment, just like you did, more so than anybody else in our lifetimes. And get rid of due process. You're the fuckhead who said, I believe that taking guns first, go through due process second.
And unnecessary wars all over the globe. Anyone can talk about defending freedom, but I've actually put everything on the line to resist these despots and these stuff.
Well, it's fun to see him booed. At least some of the people there understand enough to go, you piece of shit. But if you're in the room and you're at the convention, doesn't that sort of imply that you think it's doing some good? It's once again, to use the analogy, if like an organization for pacifism invited Jeffrey Dahmer to speak, would you show up and boo him if you're a pacifist? Or would you go, what the hell are you doing? Don't do that. I'm not going to be there. Nobody should be there. What the hell is wrong with you? So, I mean, at least they're booing, but... And by the way, boo does not convey a philosophical principle to anybody. So people watching who don't know what libertarian is supposed to be, all they get is they don't like him. Not really sure why, because there's no actual conveyance of an idea other than boo.
And before you tonight as your best hope of defeating the weaponized Biden and the very evil regime that his people, because it's probably not him because he doesn't know where the hell he is, but that his people are pursuing. You can make the difference. The Libertarian Party can make a big difference. The Libertarian Party can make a big difference.
Also, to a lot of spectators, the crowd is just going to seem like rude assholes. Now, this guy absolutely deserves everyone being a rude asshole to him. So I'm not saying that was mean of them. I'm saying if your goal is to spread the message, this isn't doing it for anybody neutral. You're not conveying any message, and you just kind of look like rude jerks. I'm all in favor of being rude jerks to war criminals. But if the excuse for bringing him here was spreading the message, this isn't doing it. Gee, if only somebody could have predicted that.
Together we can make America freer than ever before for citizens of all backgrounds.
Freer than ever before, really? So like freer than in 1900 when there wasn't a federal income tax and there wasn't a ATF or a DEA or an IRS, or there were federal taxes, they were like a few excises. Never mind. I don't want to pause and point out everything that's a lie, because I'll pause on every single sentence, because everything he says is a lie.
All walks of life. We can unleash new hope, optimism, and energy. We can release limited government so that the people can have an unlimited future. United, we will be unstoppable. If we unite, we are unstoppable. I will be a true friend to libertarians in the White House. And I am proud to be the only president in 70 years who started no new wars.
You did escalate the bombing and droning in existing wars. So you're proud of the fact that, yeah, I increased murder and slaughter of innocent people, but it was only in a place where innocent people were already being murdered and slaughtered, so that's okay. I didn't murder and slaughter anyone in a new place. That's literally his point of pride, and I've seen a bunch of Trumpites argue that's why he's so great. That's your threshold? Well, yeah, the guy's a murderer, but he's still only murdering people in the same town where he was murdering them before. He hasn't gone to a different town to murder somebody over there. He's limited his murder to the historical murder sites, which shows how principled he is.
I took on the military-industrial complex.
Are you fucking kidding me? Sorry, never mind. Just never mind. If you're a libertarian and you think this shit is doing any good, this absolute psychopath, warmonger, power-happy wannabe dictator spewing this bullshit,
I broke the stranglehold on neocons and warmongers on the Republican Party. And instead of war, I made peace in the Middle East, something nobody thought was possible, and dealt with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, where a nuclear war was guaranteed to start in a very short period of time.
What I did was make something not happen that I promised would have happened. It didn't happen before, and then it still didn't happen. But the reason it didn't happen is because of me, otherwise it would have happened.
If Hillary Clinton became president, you know, that would have been a nuclear war, 100%. And you would have never had the October 7th attack in Israel, would have never happened. And the attack in Ukraine by Russia would never, ever have happened. Wouldn't have happened.
What? Oh, so now you randomly make up things that didn't happen and say they didn't happen because you were in power. And then you point at things that did happen and declare that they wouldn't have if you were in power.
Hundreds of thousands and even millions of people would be living today. I unbound the United States from globalist agreements that surrendered our sovereignty. I withdrew from the Paris Accord. I withdrew from the anti-gun UN arms treaty. And I withdrew from the corrupt and very expensive World Health Organization. Not a good thing.
I don't want to make this too long. I will point out that, yeah, politicians undo things that they know are going to go back anyway, just like they will vote against something bad knowing full well it's going to pass. You didn't give a shit. Paris Accords came back. WHO's still there. CDC's still there. He's the one who gave Fauci the platform.
I passed the most significant, and this is so important, but I passed the most significant criminal justice reform in history. And perhaps my proudest accomplishment is to have exposed the depth of corruption in the Washington swamp. Thanks to me,
I'll tell you, the police are the most mistreated people. That's almost a direct quote. I'd have to look it up to get it word for word. This guy thinks, oh, the real victims here are the armed thugs of the state. So yeah, pardon me if I don't have a whole lot of enthusiasm about his criminal reform. Notice he didn't say anything about what it was. Reform, one of their favorite words. I passed reform. What did it do? Never mind. It just made something different, therefore it's good, therefore vote for me.
the world knows that the deep state is real, and the lamestream media is fake. It's fake. A great libertarian who may very well be in the room right now, I believe, but he's a great libertarian, DeRoy Murdoch, who I've become friends with through his writings in the American Spectator and numerous other places, wrote an article yesterday in which he mentions just some of the things that make me a libertarian without even trying to be one. That's the...
Good Lord. I don't know who that is. I don't know what article he's referring to. But holy shit, remember the three people I just mentioned? So, the person wondering what libertarianism is just heard, well, a libertarian said, this is libertarianism. It's not. And the Trump supporter was like, oh, so I'm already supporting libertarianism. Why the fuck would I vote for your party if you guys say he's already a libertarian? And the spectator, if he hadn't tuned out 20 minutes ago, would say, so you are libertarian? So libertarianism is just Trump. Okay. And why are they booing you?
D-Roy wrote, Donald J. Trump will address the Libertarian Party at its national convention on Saturday. The Libertarian Party should nominate Trump for President of the United States. Whoa. That's nice. That's nice. Only if you want to win.
Oh my God.
Maybe you don't want to win.
I didn't even know that.
Maybe you don't want to win.
I didn't even know that. A supposed libertarian suggested that he be the libertarian candidate. Remember what some of the libertarians said? Well, this isn't an endorsement of Trump. Really? This isn't about serving him. This is getting his supporters exposed to our ideas. Are your ideas, Trump is a libertarian? Christ.
Thank you, D-Roy. Thank you. No, only do that if you want to win. If you want to lose, don't do that. Keep getting your 3% every 4 years. The reasons for doing so, policy and politics, are as solid as the Hope Diamond. D-Roy says this event is very unprecedented, he said. As the Cato Institute president, Peter Gotler, observed in Thursday's Washington Post, it will be the first time think of this, first time in U.S. history that a presidential candidate of a rival party will address the convention of a party that is presumably gathering to nominate its own candidate. Now I think you should nominate me or at least vote for me, and we should win together.
He's really addressing their concerns, isn't he? Never mind.
You heard those words. Nominate me or vote. Vote for me. Because the libertarians want to vote for me, and most of them will.
Vote Jones!
And it's very important. Because we have to get rid of the worst president in history.
Johnson is corrupt.
And without it, there's a risk that we could have 4 more years, we won't have a country left. So what is the purpose of the Libertarian Party getting 3%? What is the reason to take a chance of having this horrible president destroy our country, which he will do in far less than 4 years? It's not going to take 4 years.
Now, this self-serving piece of shit is obviously saying that to try to dupe them into voting for him. That's obvious. However, there is sort of an argument to be made for why the fuck are you voting libertarian to get 3% and accomplish exactly nothing? You're playing a game, you're kissing the ass of a war criminal to hopefully get more attention and more relevance and more votes, which is going to do none of them. But even if you actually achieved that by throwing principles out the window, what was the frickin' point? You either believe in the game of press magic buttons and then somebody has the divine right of politicians and has the right to rule, or you believe in the non-aggression principle. It can't be both. So what about this is indicating that this is illegitimate? Voting this clown to give a speech and trying to talk people into voting for him who are at this convention doing all the stupid political machinations to try to put their own clown into the circus, thus legitimizing the game and obviously reinforcing the notion that whoever wins this stupid fucking game has the right to wield political authority over other people. That's the message this is spreading. That is the only message this is spreading. To have this clown there, which is, well, at least we believe in the system and democracy. Whether you vote against him or vote for him, or the only message that is consistent in everything you see here is that ruling classes are legitimate and these stupid fucking rituals are what determines who has the right to violently rob and dominate you. That is the message that the Libertarian Party is spreading by doing this stupid shit. You know, I'm going to break this video here. I'm going to pick it up in the next video, but I'm going to run this thing on double time because I'm going to vomit if I have to listen to him in real time for another 20 minutes. Hopefully I can skip a bunch of it. But seriously, what do you think this accomplished? Can somebody actually describe? Because I had a bunch of bitter libertarians after my video a couple days ago saying, you're just being mean and we can accomplish so much by getting more eyes on this. Really? I want some libertarians to actually tell me that you think this did a goddamn thing to spread the ideas of libertarianism. I want to know if anyone with a straight face can actually say, I think bringing Trump into the convention spread the idea of libertarianism farther than would have happened without doing that. I want anybody to claim that. Maybe somebody is bonkers and delusional enough to do it. I want to see if somebody can actually type those words and actually mean it. I will pick this up in the next video. Holy crap.